Island, man.
Boxing promoter, my friend. A pretty damn good thief.
He was a personality. He was a personality.
Yeah.
Promoter doesn't even cover it.
He stole Mike Tyson away. Muhammad Ali's promoter. Lot of great boxers promoters. But man, oh man, did he charge him.
I have some good news for
Hey,
you.
Jeff. Sent me a text? I'm sorry, I didn't receive it. Did you send it to my personal or business line? I'm looking at both. I haven't received anything. Sorry, buddy. The last one I got from you is from yesterday afternoon at around 4:15, 4:17.
Bob got two phones. One trap phone now,
Do you ever leave your beach house?
I try not to.
Yeah. Bob lives on an island. He plugs right in. He plugs right into the Ethernet right there on the shoreline.
Yeah, exactly. Why would I want to leave the beach? I don't know. I'll leave it to go to another beach, maybe where John is or Dan is.
Oh yeah, it's nice out here. It's nice out here.
I think Brazil has one of the highest rated beaches in the world, right?
Oh yeah.
Sure does. I can confirm.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with their dress code on the beaches or anything like that. I'm sure that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, there are a few procedures named after there, aren't there?
Yeah. Yeah, we got plenty of those. We got plenty of those here in Miami.
I'm sure you do. We're known as the chill coast, but we don't have as many as you guys do over there. You guys are way more progressive than we are.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like every girl in Miami now has to get her butt done. Now it's the new thing.
Crazy.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the new phase. The new phase.
Well, enjoy yourself.
If you have a
going
BBL, we're not hating. Got plenty of smart people.
Smart people.
What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Esme, where's my cooking? Man, oh man, you look like a great chef. I'd love to be there someday tasting your food. Pictures.
If she got a name like that, you definitely know she whips it up. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? I see the Hurdle brothers are in here. I hope you guys brought some questions today.
Dr. Miami is overbooked. Yeah. It's funny. I ran into him at a TED Talk.
Really?
Down here. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. It's interesting. We do a completely different style of medicine. I'm used to. But he makes a lot of money though. He makes a lot of money, doing really well.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys put it on contract and dispo it already, John? What's PDRE talking about?
Well, I wanted
your 24-hour dispo?
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, man.
Good morning, Paul.
I just
Mr. Steve Strain.
I figured I'd share, what I was working on. I've been able to tap into the creative side of real estate and been able to structure my first subject to deal. It's crazy that this is happening now. But I've successfully locked up my first sub 2 deal. Last night we got the paperwork signed. I closed the guy live. And now Matt has already got people that are looking to
lined up for it.
Dude,
I bet.
They want that. They need that deal, Bob. They don't want that deal. They need that deal. They fiend for these deals, Bob.
It's a sweet deal. Is this the seller from that you were talking about yesterday? You were gonna go call him yesterday, or?
Yep. We thought
Same
he
seller.
could
Okay.
have blocked me, but he just had bad reception. He works in a remote location. He was explaining that he works in a remote location.
See, that's assumption. You're like a crazy girlfriend. Starting to become like a crazy girlfriend. You're like, oh, he blocked my number.
I had to take a step back,
He
man.
must have
I
blocked
don't
me.
want to act like a crazy girlfriend now. I let the
He
girlfriend act
blocked
like
my
a crazy
number.
girlfriend.
He jumped to conclusions. He's jumping to conclusions over here.
Hey, Jeff, I got it. I'll talk to you afterwards about it. No worries.
But it's
Paul.
looking good.
That's great.
Talk
That's
to me.
fantastic. Hey, I am so happy for you, man. You have been so vocal in the chat this past few weeks, I think now. That's awesome. Helping out a lot of people here.
Finding some newfound energy
becoming
in
an
my
influencer.
game. I took a break and was needed, but back on the business grind, and it's been good. I've been feeling the results of the energy, and I'm hoping it continues to compound. So yeah, I've been pretty happy with that.
Excellent. Well, we're glad that you are helping so many people out here. There he is.
So
Good morning.
Good morning. Good
Matt,
morning.
you're in high demand, Matt.
What happened? I didn't rob that bank, I promise you.
You sure? You got an alibi?
I was exactly where I said
I said
was.
you're high demand. You don't have a yes.
Oh, I don't have a
I didn't say
warrant.
I
Oh,
didn't say
sorry.
you have a warrant out for your
Sorry,
arrest.
sorry. That was my life. That was my life before real estate.
Jesus, yeah. Yeah.
I had a flash.
Now you make yourself sound guilty. I said, Matt, you're in high demand. Oh, where are they looking for me? I didn't rob that bank.
This is why I always need an attorney.
Whoa.
I always
hold
need
on.
my attorney present. All right.
Yeah.
Don't let me in
Apparently.
that investigation room for too long.
Apparently.
Yeah, don't do that.
Apparently.
What's going on, boys and girls?
well, I'm still feeling good from last night's dub. I stayed up way too late though, and I completely ruined my schedule for today. But I still got to the gym, still hit my non-negotiable, so that was good.
Nice.
But even the people at the gym, they literally looked at my face. They said, "You look tired," and I said, "Damn, I feel tired."
Hey,
You know that's,
you know
you
what?
know it's bad when you're 22 years old and people can tell you're tired. Like,
Oh my gosh, I felt
if you're noticeably tired at 22 years old.
I'm going to sleep tonight at 7:50. I'm clocked out. Don't text me. I'm going to bed. I got a bedtime now.
I got a bedtime.
But guess what, John? No matter what, you were in the gym. Even if it was a shitty workout, even if you had a bad workout, you were still there. That's commitment. That's what it means.
It was pretty good pump.
Can't be mad at that.
Pretty good pump. Can't lie.
Wait, what are we rewarding? We're rewarding this paper. This is necessary. This is fucking necessary. We don't reward this paper. It has to do this.
He didn't back off.
It's
He didn't
required.
say, I'm tired. I'm
required.
tired. I can't make it. I gotta go to
You know,
sleep
Bob.
now."
See, Bob. That's the problem, though. That's the problem. Is we're celebrating the people that just are not being a pussy. That's the whole problem with society. We're like, man, you woke up today. Congratulations. Like, man, like, come on, man.
Dan was not letting that slide.
Whew.
Dan doesn't let anything slide these days. Dan is
No.
not letting anything slide.
No, man.
I've noticed.
I think he's been reading a lot of Goggins or listening to him too much, man.
That's why I folded under pressure as soon as Dan asked me where. Yeah, I was in high. I was like, hold on, I didn't know where I was.
Yeah, John's the girlfriend jumping to conclusions, and
Yeah, that's exactly.
Matt's the paranoid boyfriend over here.
Got a
It's
little
like,
nervous.
oh, what were we doing last night? I wasn't out last night. I wasn't at that club last night.
Yeah, I was at the, I was
Say,
at
wait a
the,
minute, I didn't say anything about a club.
I was at the
Didn't say
movies
anything
by
about a bar.
myself, like I told you.
I
John,
was hanging out with the dogs. last night. What are you talking about?
I got dog hair on my shirt. John, we're officially assigned.
Really?
Woo!
So,
What is the assignment?
12.5.
Wow.
I was able to squeeze out another 500. It's a guy that he sent me a proof of funds like 2 weeks ago on another deal, and he's in my DMs all the time. really nice guy. And he hit me up, I think within 30 minutes, maybe less, of the post. And then he's like, I want this. And then it just started like flooding in after that. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to really deal with this. So I was like, hey man, here's what we'll do. I go, if you can tack on 500 extra bucks, I go, we'll do this right now. I go, I'm not going to nickel and dime you. I'm not going to ask, I'm not going to play that game. I go, if you want it, 500 extra bucks. He's like, no problem. He's like, you deserve it. Great deal. Let's go. So we got it assigned. We're all good. I'll send you over all the assigned, all the deals, or all the documents.
Wow. So
When's close of escrow?
July 31st. It'll be July 31st or sooner.
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, we're trying to close it so he doesn't have to make his August payment.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic. Congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I just want to say I am in proximity with the right people. All right. Everybody in here is in proximity with the right people. And just being in proximity might not be enough. But taking action, getting involved, making noise, squatting up is what's going to take you from where you're at to where you want to go. So if anybody needs help, wants to get in on a deal, I'm learning creative now. You've got two of the top creative masterminds in this call right now, in the entire industry right now. Ask your questions.
Every morning.
Steez is feeling it. Steez is feeling it.
Every morning.
It's crazy. We need more people in this room. I want to see us hit like maxed out. But I don't want like the TikTok people. I want more professionals. I want to see us inviting people from Facebook to come and join us. People that are really doing deals to come and join us, because this is really the greatest platform in existence. There's nothing there. No one else can compete. No one can compete. They don't come close.
Can you tell the man's fired up? Sometimes the assignments are just like espresso. You don't even need the espresso.
Oh my gosh! You know what's so funny?
John,
Yesterday I got home from the gym, and so we were talking, we were texting this and that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna make some money. So I'm thinking money is in my head, and I just got this big smile on my face. And they asked me, they said, "What, you find a girlfriend?" In my head, I'm like, no, I'm about to get paid. I'm about to get some money. I'm trying to get some money.
John totally has
the girlfriend will come
sales
later.
energy.
Don't worry about that.
Oh yeah, in due
You
time,
got this.
I'm trying to get these bands.
You
girlfriend
got
comes later.
that sales guy energy, John. You like closing.
I love to close. I was born to close.
Rides that high.
I was born to close.
Man.
And Bob was saying it yesterday that like I'm all over the place, like, but I love that. I don't know why, but I love that. I love that rush. I love the game. I love sales. I love marketing. I love this business. I love real estate. Love this shit.
That's awesome.
It loves you back.
So who's got questions? Yeah. I saw Vittoria throw in a question about assignability. How do you overcome the assignable clause objection? Or would you just let it slide until the closing table? Some title companies, I think, they will require the assignable clause. I'm not so sure I understand that. What do you mean overcome the assignable clause objection? Who's objecting to it? The title company is? Or the seller/agent?
Agents.
Assignable by default. Okay, Omar's answering that. Yeah. Hey, Vittoria, if you can come up on stage, maybe we can help you better.
Some title companies, I think they will require the assignable clause.
Agents.
Is it agent?
Man, this is right. You guys got
I can
Uh-oh.
speak.
We might have money.
Agent outreach.
We might have money calling me.
On his agent outreach.
I can speak to the agent side of things, though. Like, I mean, the agents just want the deal to close for their client, right?
Yep.
So assignable says this is, I don't know if this is going to close. So what are you going to do to kind of persuade this agent, hey, I'm a solid buyer, I'm just looking to, if this doesn't work for me, I want to assign this out to someone else who could take it, because I think there's numbers here that would work for somebody, if not me, that type of thing. But I mean, they don't want a property tied up for no reason. because that's not helping them get their check, right? It's not helping their client get their check. So that's the mentality you got to kind of hit that objection with, is they want to know it's going to close. That's what they're looking. That's the secret sauce to that answer.
I think the biggest thing though is like kind of like how I'd object to that is just like, hey, like, assignable or not, that doesn't guarantee a close. Right. So it's like,
Right.
I've never really understood that aspect, but it's just like, I think what they're worried about is they've heard the horror stories usually.
Or have gone through
the
it.
assignable person. Yeah. Or have gone through it of they've, heard the assignable clause. If it says assignable, don't do it because that person isn't actually buying the property. They're going to ship it out to a bunch of people and hope that somebody else buys it. I really think the bottom line here, guys, at the end of the day, is you're just not dealing with and there is Matt Riley with the fucking the
I didn't want to interrupt.
Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Throw it in the trash. Wad it up. Throw it in the trash. This is my slickest thing. No, that's sweet. Good job. I know, but what I was going to say is like, I think really is the fact that you have to make sure that when you're talking to these people, when you're looking at the house that you're looking at, is the person really motivated to actually really want to sell? It just goes back down to the face of that. I notice a lot of times when people are looking at these houses that they're with the agent, and the agent's like, oh, we don't want this to be assignable. It's like almost never a deal. Like, I swear to God, these homes that people bring me, they go, I have this house locked up, but the agent says I can't assign it and all this stuff. And then they send me the address, they send me the listing, and I'm like, it's not even a deal. Like, there's nothing anything there. And it's because if you think that they have a higher chance, a higher probability of being able to sell that property at a higher price to a retail buyer, and you're trying to come in, lock it up, and wholesale, like, guys, I want everybody to understand wholesaling is not the chase game. Get to the property, get the offer as fast as I possibly can so that somebody else can't have it, so that I lock it up and sell it to the other person. It's like, you're not trying to lock up the rights to buy the property simply to try to control the flow. That's not what wholesaling is. Like, wholesaling is more catered to the fact of like, it was really catered to the fact of off-market property. It was really catered to this fact of like, there's an issue here, right, where this person is looking for a property that is not on the market, and then you have person over here who feels like they can't sell the property on the market. So you're creating the bridge between those two gaps. But wholesaling isn't let me go find the house first and work it out the best to try to get it locked up so that I can control the rights to the person so that I get to choose who has it. It's like, that's not like, you're always like, I feel like that's a way a lot of people think about on market wholesaling. They're just trying to look for a number versus like trying to actually create a product, sell the product. Like, there's nothing. You guys are just trying to just lock things up, and that's where you're getting inside of these issues. Is when you put yourself into those scenarios, you're getting yourself inside of these issues. I don't deal with these issues that you guys deal with, that you guys bring into these calls every day, because I'm not going about the route the same way that you guys are going about these things. Are like, we don't deal with people that are like, oh, this agent's blocking our assignability. It's not an issue that we deal with because of the way that we're handling the process in which we're doing this, our marketing, and our negotiation and the properties that we're dealing.
It is an interesting case study too. I feel like the only times I've ever ran into issue on an assignable where they're like, no assignable, no is, and then I look and the property's been on the market for 150 days, 200 days, and it's just like sitting there, and it's just like, oh yeah, there's a reason why this property's been sitting. It's not a deal, and it's just like, right, it is interesting. Like, I've only ran into it in those situations where it's like, all right, you're acting like this is like some home run of a thing, and then when I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I don't even want anything to do with it. But it is interesting that the only times I've ever ran into that is on like bad deal properties that have been sitting for 200 days, and then it's just morning surge.
I think like in the wholesaling space, it's providing a value proposition to your marketplace, right? Like that's kind of the whole thing, right? So like Matt's a great example. He had a deal that he locked up that offered great value to the person he was assigning it to yesterday. That's why it closed in 24 hours or whatever, or went under assignment in 24 hours, right? Like it was like, there's no way.
45 minutes, no short.
45 minutes. Yeah. Like it was an unmistakable deal, you know? Yeah. So chasing unicorns and being like, well, maybe it's a deal if it's this, that, or the other is just kind of a waste of everybody's time. When it's a deal, it's a deal. Per a 45 minute. That's so crazy. 45-minute assignment.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things too. Like, you know, I never like the unsexy stuff behind the scenes, right? Like somebody had mentioned, like nobody, like, yeah, it's nice to look at those things, right, and post about it, but nobody sees the 10,000 hours that I put in prior to that,
Right? Exactly.
And how I created what I've created, or how I have the ability to talk to the people I'm talking to, and how I have the insight, and how I have these things. And it's like, you know, like a plumber comes to your house and he charges you $500 for 20 minutes worth of work, and you're like, dude, I just paid you. That's it, 500. He's like, yeah, you're not paying me for the 20 years of experience I have, and that's the reason why it only took me 20 minutes to fix this, and that you're paying me for that. And that's, you know, so, you know, 45-minute assignments. I just locked up 2 seller finance deals that I've been chasing out for the last week. Those will be $6K a piece. I will absolutely get rid of those in 30 minutes a piece as well. Like those will be, if I get those under contract today, they'll be gone today. Like it'll be a no-brainer, but that's only because of the 10,000 hours I put in prior to this to understand what a deal is and how to structure things and how to know when it's a deal and when it's not a deal, when to walk away. How many deals I put under contract isn't even in comparison to how many I've walked away from and how many I haven't done, because it's truly not a good deal. So again, it's the sexy side of things when you see that and you see the Facebook post and you see me posting in here on that kind of stuff. But what you don't see, and what I would try to post more of, is the stuff that I don't follow up on, or while I don't do those deals, and all the stuff that falls apart on the back end that doesn't lead to those types of endings. So, but yeah, that's pretty much 10-year 2 to 5%.
Your story reminds me of the story between Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. I don't know if you guys have heard that story. They were great friends, and one day Ford had a problem with one of his machines in his factory. And so he calls up Edison to come over and take a look at it and see if he could figure it out. And Edison comes in, looks at the machine, sees what's going on wrong, and then immediately goes to directly where the problem is, pulls out a screwed up screw, takes it and replaces it. And Henry says, well, thank you. Send me an invoice, bill for it. And Edison sends Ford a bill for something like $5,000. Okay. And Ford says, $5,000
for one screw?
For one screw? And he said, you're right. Let me fix that. He revised the invoice and changed it to one screw, 20 cents, knowledge to know where that screw is, $4,999.80. It's the perfect story. You know?
And that's 100%. And it's just, again, especially I think like social media and all these things can be such a disservice to the industry, because it again can make it look so easy, right? Like, oh, all I got to do is, I watched the TikTok video, now I'm in this group, and all I got to do is pick up the phone and call a couple people, and someone's going to say yes, and then there's going to be a magic buyer on the other side, and he's going to buy it for more money, and then I make the difference, and I'm going to, wow, and I can make thousands of dollars doing this, and that's simple, that's easy, right? And you don't see all of the stuff that goes on. Like, we don't just do real estate in here for this 1 hour and then like,
right.
we just like miraculously go hang out somewhere and just deals are falling in our laps. Like,
I go back to the lake and start, swimming.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like, this is not like a hologram that as soon as this ends, a different world exists of not doing this on a daily basis. So we're putting in hours and hours and hours into this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And this is the result of that work, just like anything else. So It's just you got to grind at it the same way. You just work smarter, not harder, once you actually learn the process and you actually learn what you're doing.
We've had Mr. Devin Hunt here on stage with us for a little while now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How you fellas doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I have a on-market property that I've been looking at, and I was fixing to get it under contract last week, but I was kind of concerned because I don't really work with on-market properties, and so I've connected with her. Him and I have built rapport and everything, but I am still kind of concerned because of the repair costs, and so I was curious if I don't really think there's too much difference, at least when analyzing an on market versus off market. But I'm just very naive when it comes to working with on market deals. So I was curious if y'all could help me out and kind of walk through it with me.
Great question. So let me ask you this: when
Yes, sir.
you're dealing with an off market deal, how do you analyze it to know if it's a good deal or not?
Right. Yeah. I'll run the comps for it. Properties that are plus or minus 250, 300 square feet. All those criterias.
Right.
Try to find like 2 or 3 of them that are sold within the past like 3 to 6 months, and then get the average, go from there, multiply it. In my market, I've heard 70, sometimes 65 to 70% ARV. So I've just been doing 70% ARV, and then I'll do the repair costs for like cosmetic. It'll be about $25 to $35 per square foot. For medium repairs, it'll be $45, $50 per square foot, and then for like a big, full gut, it'll be about $65, $65 to $75 per square foot for those repairs. And then I'll take out my assignment fee, and that's what my maximum allowable offer, or that'll be my general area for what I need to offer.
Okay. All right. So what happens with an on market that you feel makes it different?
I think the big thing that I'm more concerned about is like sending the offer, because normally I only have to put $100 earnest money, and so with a realtor, they may be asking for proof of funds or et cetera, other things like that. And I don't know. He said he was okay with me being a wholesaler and everything, but I'm kind of just concerned to have, I guess, a realtor in between the deal versus just me kind of knowing everything that's going on and doing it all myself.
Okay. So it's the realtor factor.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. And you also mentioned that the EMD might not be just $100 and that you might actually need a proof of funds. Things get real all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah, they do. Because like I can throw down, like I'm comfortable throwing down like up to like $700 EMD, but then from there, like I don't have the proof of funds that shows I got $60,000 in my bank account.
Right. So who do you think would have that money for the EMD and the proof of funds?
Some other investor, somebody on here bought it like me.
Okay. All right. Great answer. And what do you need to do to get that proof of funds and that EMD from that somebody who's either in here or just out there, another investor?
Get the property locked in the contract.
So if you lock it up under contract, how are you going to lock it up under contract if you don't have the EMD? Meaning, are you going to write down the EMD that the agent or the seller is asking for, even if it's higher than 700?
No. Negotiate with them.
Okay. All right. But going back to the point of finding that investor, what are you going to do with that investor?
I'm going to walk them through the deal and show them, kind of what's going on and what I
so
think.
you're going to partner up with them.
Yes.
Okay. So once you partner up with them, now you can go back and have the EMD plus proof of funds, right?
Correct.
Okay. So those two are solved. Right?
Okay.
And wouldn't it be easier if you actually go find those investors first to see what kind of properties they're looking for and what kind of EMD they'd feel comfortable with and what kind of proof of funds they have first, before you actually go find the buyer, the houses, the properties?
Yeah.
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 That's why we preach so much. Go find your cash buyers first. Go find your partners, your investors first. Find out what it is they're looking for, and then you'll know, hey, is this going to be a deal or not? You might look at it and just look at this one deal that you're talking about right now, okay? And it may or may not make sense to you right now, but if you have a cash buyer already, a few cash buyers, not just one, okay?
Right.
And one of them is going to say, you know what, that's a steal for me. I want that deal. You know that's what they're going to say as soon as they see it, okay? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to lock it up right away, aren't you?
Yes.
Because you already have the buyer for it.
Right.
Okay.
And so essentially, like if I'm showing them this deal because it's on market, it's like anyone can see it. I need to just be very, very diligent and proactive. And once I show it to them, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd totally buy that." Like, go get it locked go get it locked up before they try and get it locked up. Is that essentially it?
So let's finish your previous question first, and I'll come back to this one. Okay.
Okay. Sure thing.
No worries. So we talked about how you find the cash buyer and take care of the EMD and the proof of funds. Okay.
Correct.
Now the question is, dang it, I forgot what the major question was.
Well, so I really just kind of want to. I essentially answered my own question about the finding.
That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make you go through the process in your mind to figure it out yourself.
Right.
It's the giving the fish versus teaching you how to fish mentality. Okay. So that's what I want you to learn. I want you to learn on your own feet rather than us just handing you answers. Okay.
Right.
Because you're active. That's great. Okay. So the main difference is going to come down to the agent. That's what it was. Okay. And you just need to be able to build that rapport with the agent. Okay. Just like how you'd build rapport with the seller. Now there's an intermediary in there, right? There's someone in the middle between you and the seller. So the relationship needs to be built with the agent first and foremost. Okay. Right. Make sure they understand, make sure that they know that, hey, you're a legit buyer. Yeah, they know you're a wholesaler and they're okay with it even, you said, right? So that's great. Okay, so you've overcome probably the hardest challenge of it, okay? Now you just need proof, and that's going back to building those relationships with cash buyers first, and you can now bring them in when they need proof. You do have proof now. So it makes you even that much more confident, okay, about moving forward. And then the EMD is not going to be an issue if it's even more than 700, because most agents are going to ask for a minimum of 1 to 3%. Okay?
Right.
So if a house is 200,000, they want 2,000 minimum.
Yeah.
700 won't cut it. That puts Devin in a bad situation unless he already has his buyer that he's partnering up with.
Okay.
Okay. So as soon as they say 2,000 on a $200,000 house, for example, okay, you go, no problem. You go back to the seller, your partner, cash buyer. Okay. You go, hey, this is what they need. You're cool with that, right? Yeah, let's go. Put it under contract.
Okay.
Now going back to the question of, do you lock it up first and take it to them first, to the cash buyers next, or do you show it to them first? That depends on your relationship with the cash buyer and how much trust you have between each other. Okay. In general, you want to build such a strong relationship with them that they're not going to go behind your back. But if they do, now you know what kind of person they are. And this is not a huge community. You can blacklist them, okay? And let everybody, all the other wholesalers know what a piece of, work this guy is.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you can indirectly bring that up. You go, of course, I'm going to trust you and bring you deals. And I'm not just looking to do one deal with you, Mrs. Cash Buyer. I want to bring as many deals as you can handle. Okay? So let's work together and let's make sure that this is a win-win for both of us. Okay?
Okay.
Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, no, I think it does.
And I'm sure Paul has a lot more to say than I do because he's an agent himself too.
Oh yeah, but I can be honest. I was taking a call, so
No worries. No worries.
He's doing agent stuff. He's an agent. He's
Yeah.
doing agent stuff.
He's actually answering his phone.
I am
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
trying very hard to communicate with other agents that are being a challenge for me this morning.
Wait a second. He's an agent who answers his phone. Is he really an agent? I don't know.
Right?
I don't know if those two
Dude,
things go together. Hold on a
It's
second.
insane.
No, good deal. Okay, I think that does answer the question. So I'll pop back in. If anything happens, if I actually end up moving forward with that deal.
Cool.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You got it. Elisha, good morning, buddy.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Got a couple of scenarios. Appreciate the good information. I got one particular scenario I wanted to run past you guys to get your input.
Let's go.
So I was driving for dollars, driving Uber. So usually sometimes I just get in my car and drive Uber, but at the same time I'm driving for dollars and looking at properties while I'm out there. So
Perfect.
this particular lady gets inside my car and she's saying, "Can you drop me off at these different places? Can I just pay you? Get off the app. Just let me drop you off." So it turns out she started talking about how someone funded her house was paid off, but now there's a lien on her house from a loan. It turns out I dug a little deeper and talking to her in the conversation that she took out a loan on her place for $160,000 to consolidate debts, and so she was kind of going on and on about it. So I just we were talking about it, and so it looks like fast forward, she looks open to selling her place or maybe a sub to for $160 just to take off get her out of the loan, and $40,000. She even gave me her credit report to pay off her debts for $40,000 in exchange for for a deal with her house or sell her house.
Okay. So there's $160,000 in the loan. Sorry,
yes. Go ahead. Yeah, $160,000. And so when we were driving, I said, "Well, I need to see your mortgage statement." And she reached in her purse and gave me 2 mortgage statements, two recent ones.
Because we all carry it around.
What is going? It feels like a
Right.
All right.
So I have a mortgage statement right here. Yeah, it's $160 outstanding principal, $160,000.
Okay.
And so I said, "Would you be open to $200,000, say $160, take care of this, and then $40,000 to pay off your debt?" She said, "Oh, you can do that?" I said, "Yeah, well, I'll see. I don't know, but I can see for you." So she wants me to give her a report on Friday of what I can do. But she seems excited about that prospect. Would that be a deal if she actually accepted that offer?
Elisha, what's the ARV on the property? Have you looked at it?
Well, what I found was the value is $426K.
So the
Yeah,
ARV is
off of batch
426,000. Batch leads. Okay,
Yes.
so did you find actual comps like within the last 3 to 6 months latest?
I seen
prove that
2
it's-
comps.
Uh-huh.
There's one actually. Oh, inside her same complex, it's right now selling for $359. It's in contract inside of her same complex, same size.
Okay.
It's selling for $359,000, and then
Okay.
there's another that's on sale for $410,000.
It's active though. It's not pending or sold.
It's active, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's active.
So
The one the 359 is pending, yeah.
okay. And then what kind of condition is her house compared to these 2 comps?
I haven't seen a house. Friday, I'm picking her up, so I want to set that up to do a walkthrough. But what she says, she just had her kitchen remodel, is what she says. So I will actually know when I do the walkthrough, when I schedule that with her, when I see her on Friday.
Okay. Is there a reason today's Tuesday and you're going to be seeing it on Friday?
Well, I'm actually picking her up to take her to an eye appointment and she doesn't have a phone. So, it's like when she's with me, she has to find a place to make the call to me. So she walks over to the store and calls me. But we already set the time for me to pick her up on Friday morning.
Friday. Okay, so you have a secured date to go pick her up and see the house as well. What would happen, just out of curiosity, if you happen to drop by late afternoon and knock on her door because you know where she lives? And you say, hey, you know what? I was in the neighborhood, and I've been thinking about your situation with your house, and I want to see if I can help you. So I thought, if you don't mind, I'd just drop by, take a quick look at the house so that hopefully maybe I can help you out even faster.
That's an idea.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is,
yes, sir. Yeah.
But by Friday, who knows what happens? Okay. So
Right.
I'm not saying anything can or will happen. I'm just saying, why wait? Let's not put things aside or away for a future time period. Okay. Take action today as soon as you possibly can. If it was me and I was driving her around, I'd say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be dropping you off at your home again. Why don't I just come by and take a quick look at the house as well? So that way I have all the information that I need. Is that okay with you, ma'am? Next time. Okay. So, because based on what you're saying, she owes 160, wants 40K to walk. That's 200. And if the houses that you pulled, the comps that you pulled at 359 and around 400, hopefully we can find more comps. If her house is in pretty decent condition, she's got it, the kitchen renovated just recently last year, I think you said. So hopefully the rest of the house isn't too bad either. Okay. That sounds like a deal to me, especially if she's open to that 160 being taken over. That's a deal. Okay.
Okay.
Depending on, I mean, you saw the mortgage statement. Did you see what interest rate she has on it?
3.125.
Elisha, if you're not calling me after here, I'm going to kill you. Kidding, obviously, but that's a deal, my friend. Okay.
Yes, sir. Got it. Yep. I'll get on it.
Attaboy.
I feel like, from her excitement, I feel like if you got papers in front of her this weekend, it seems like she'll sign them. But she was like, oh my gosh, you can do that. Can you please give me a report? Give me a report back to me when you pick me up.
Report of what? What kind of report is she expecting of you?
Well, she just wants to know what I can do.
Options.
I can
She wants to
actually
know what
do
her
that.
options are.
Can you? Yeah, options. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you got Matt, you got me, you got Dan, John, everybody in here. Not Dan.
Creative
Okay.
guy. I'm the new creative guy.
There you go. So we'd be happy to help you.
So you suggest me just going up there and knocking on the door?
I'm telling you what I would do. I'm not telling you that's what I would suggest for you to do. That's what I would do. I might be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. You already know her. You've already built a rapport with her, and it sounds like she trusts you. I mean, she pulled out her mortgage statement from her purse and showed it to you right there. Okay.
That's a classic old lady move right there. Okay.
Right. I wonder what else.
We never know when you might need this. You know what I mean? When you go to the bank, you have to sign a check.
That's right.
Thanks a
So,
lot.
I mean, she sounds like a sweet lady, and I would want to work with her.
Got it. Yes, sir. All right.
Elijah,
I'll get on it then.
Was that you as well that had that? Was that the call that we had about that property in California, right? Or no?
Which property in California?
Wasn't there that one that we looked up? It was kind of ugly on the outside, but there was something going on with there was like a foreclosure thing going on, and the people that were living there for like 20 years, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
The other lady I had was a pre-foreclosure. She kicked her auction to, I believe, August 7th.
August. Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to
That's
kick
the
it
one
down.
you sent to Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's kicking the can down the road, betting that her little government contract is going to kick in and she'll be able to save the house. So, I'm still texting her every single day, just, being around so she'll know like I'm here, when she realizes probably she doesn't have any more options.
That's right.
It's always good to be a good option for someone, just make sure they know that if they need you, they can call you. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, John, relax. John is just oozing over there.
You're not talking about the 40-acre land deal in West Point, are you? Because that's another owner finance deal from owner finance. He's owner financing 40 acres, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, manufactured house, 2 wells, and creek.
Come on down. I might be an interested buyer.
40K, 10%, 400,000, sell 40,000, wants 40,000 down.
Let's chit chat.
Ooh, the old chit chat. AB's got people saying chit chat now.
Beautiful land. I went up there a couple of weeks ago with him, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful looking land. There's a lot of land, and like I said, 2 wells. It's a great looking place. So we can chat, man.
Where is this at?
It's in West Point, California. About 45 minutes from Reno, and maybe an hour from Yosemite.
I don't know if I have somebody out there.
Come on,
You don't have anybody out in you don't have anybody in Yosemite, John?
I don't know because 40K. It sounds a little steep, but we'll have to take a look at the numbers.
That chit chat just switched.
Yeah. Chit chat. We went from chit chat to no chat.
John already ordered
You can
that.
still inbox me the details.
John already ordered that iced out 30 millimeter Cuban chain on the way. It's already. He already spent the check.
I'm not spending.
He already
money
spent
on
the
any
check.
liabilities, bro. I'm still gonna live the way I'm living, and I'm buying assets. That's it.
John subscribed to the Lamborghini magazine. Put his mailing address on there.
No shot.
John said, don't talk to me until you close 6-figure deals.
I did not say
John go get this check and not know how to act, dude. John about to get this check and not know how to act. I'm gonna see John out there on the boat in Brazil with one girl on either side.
My life by design.
Life by design.
Life by design.
Does that help, Elisha? Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
All right.
Get in contact with you. Thanks again, guys. Thanks.
Keep up the great work. Elisha is a hustler. He keeps submitting lots of leads and deals to us. So keep up the great work.
Elisha,
And following up with that other person too.
What happened with that one lady that had the foreclosure coming up on the 17th? Did she get foreclosed on?
No, that's the one that we just said. She filed bankruptcy. Yep.
Okay.
And it's now August 7th or something like that.
Got it.
I wonder, do you think that she had somebody advise her on that, or do you think she just knew to do that?
How many people know?
That's what I was going to write. So that's what I would just make sure you keep following up, because it could be somebody that's advising her who has no interest in purchasing the property, has no interest in anything, and just is looking out for her.
An attorney or someone. Yep.
Or it could be a creative person in their ear too. That's like, hey, all you got to do is this, and then it'll buy us some time. And then so just make sure that you're staying on top of mind for that deal, just in case.
Yes, absolutely. I'm texting her every day, making sure she texts me back till when she responds. She says, "Good morning, King. Yeah, this is what's happening." I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know if that's gonna work out, but all right, out here, we need need some advice, and also I need some advice on how to, my posture, what my posture needs to be with her, going towards this next auction date."
I would step into the role of the king, man.
Yeah, sounds like there might be something else going on in this deal. It sounds like maybe closing another deal. She might be wanting you to close the other deal in this deal too after done. I'm on a different level today. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
Dan is in an alternate headspace.
I'm in an alternate headspace.
Clear my head.
I'm out of control, dude.
Have you gone to the gym, Dan?
Today? No. Yeah.
You didn't carry the boats? What's going on?
John, we always get there. Dude. We always get there.
That's right. He doesn't go to sleep until he carries the boats.
I never. Yeah. I have to knock myself out. I was chugging coffee last night at 9 p.m. last night.
Oh, dude, that is
Why?
suicidal.
Because I had to go train. I had to go train back. So I was like, we have to get myself hyped.
I don't care if you were training dragons. I'm never drinking coffee at 9 p.m. at night.
16 ounces. 16 ounces of Cuban coffee last night.
Dan had his hat on, his Cuban hat, and a Cuban chain, Cuban watch.
Yep.
I would have been up until still today, I think. I would have been just having night terrors trying to go to sleep after.
Oh, man. Imagine if we didn't get that paperwork signed. Oh, I slept like a baby after that, though, I tell you what.
That's really the only reason I'll ever stay up late is if there's like something like that. But even the guy last night, he wanted to sign last night, so I probably could have gotten it signed way sooner. But I was like, I just can't go to my computer. I'm not going to type this out right now. I'll send it to you first thing in the morning. And that's the only way.
Anxiety is the best caffeine you'll ever receive.
That is very true.
Don't take that. That's not.
That is true.
Advice.
No,
Don't
but
do
really
that.
though, it really is when you have a lot
It really is. It's
to lose
bad.
and
Yeah.
it's all on the line. You perform, bro. You either sink or swim. And real heavy hitters, the champions, the chosen ones, the ones that choose themselves, they perform. They step up to the plate.
I've kept myself up. Really late at night with money on the line. Tell you.
Oh,
Tell you
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, like the pre-workout jitters and itches, anxiety can do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, it's worse. Yeah, it's worse.
You're like,
My
okay,
eye
it's
is
going to be all right.
in Ecuador, I woke up, I started to notice, damn, my eye is twitching. I Googled it. Why is my eye twitching? Oh, you're anxious. Oh, I must be, yeah.
They're like, yeah, you're Googling this at 2 a.m. You must be anxious. That's probably why.
Google's like, this is the easiest question I've actually ever answered.
Yeah. The Google rep was like, don't worry, guys, I got this one. I answered it in real time.
Miss Amazing asked a great question earlier.
Let's hear it.
She said, is it really, let me make sure I got this right. She said, is it really a numbers game, or do you need better quality leads?
Is it
both?
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
It is a numbers game, but you want to be talking to people that are going to potentially be a deal. If you're talking to people that are not motivated, have no reason to sell, just purchase the property. Like, you're not going to buy a house from somebody. They're not going to be in an immediate distress if they just purchase the property. So there are specific things you want to make sure you look out for when you're creating your list and you're targeting people. You want to target potential distress.
We went over this actually in my masterclass Friday, but just throwing that out there.
We gotta get the playback, Dan.
Okay, yeah. Hey, you had to be there. You had to be there, John. You had to sign up on the mailing list. Basically what I just discussed, just as a breakdown for that section, as I just discussed, you want to make sure, like, this is actually the whole reason that we audit our marketing approach, and that you audit your number one product and your number one buyer at the end of every quarter and every month, because, I basically explained this. I was like, you don't want to be putting out marketing dollars to the person that's not spending the most amount of money with your business, right? And this goes for every business. Like, you don't want to be putting out all kinds of money and you're not getting the return on it, which means that person is no longer, even if they were before, right? It was something that was working before. It's like, in wholesaling, you're potentially looking at, your states and stuff too, right? If you're marketing in 3 or 4 states, you're closing deals in 3 or 4 states. And let's say, in the month of May, Ohio was killing it for you. But you notice when you look back through your numbers, you're like, oh, wait, hey, when we look back at June, right? We all of a sudden see that Ohio actually slips into second place or third place even, and Florida actually went up into first place, right? So then my question would be like, well, there would be no reason to put more money back into Ohio. You want to put it back into the avatar that is pumping the most amount of money back out to your business. So that's why it's really important to stay in touch with really what's going on, right? It's like you want to try to go back and identify maybe what is causing the issue of the quality to slip in a certain area, but you don't want to go, well, we just continue taking the same approach. You want to make sure that you are able to ride the wave with your business, right? That's the importance of the auditing. Is you want to be able to ride that wave, and to translate the wave, you have to look at the data. You have to look at the numbers provided. So you have to always especially like in any other business, right? Like if I have a restaurant, right, my quality matters to some degree, right? It matters to some degree. I can have multiple customers, right? More customers than the next guy. But he might be able to do the same amount of money as me if he provides higher quality and charges more, right? I can charge less and have more people, but at the end of the day, it's like you can also have less people and charge more and make the same amount of money, right? So like Walmart makes a lot of money, but so does a lot of higher quality brands as well. It just depends on the overall, like what you're looking to really achieve. And I think it also depends on your size of your business, right? The smaller your business is, the smaller size of your business, then I would say you really want to focus on quality, right? If it's just you and only you, and you're like, you want to be a John Johnson, you want to be taking a deal down and then taking the time to analyze it and say, do I want to buy it or do I want to wholesale it? Right? If you want that business model, then you really need to look at quality. Like that's really important. But if you want to create a factory machine, where you're not looking to buy any deals, right? Like my business we're not looking to buy any deals. So therefore, in that case, we're just consistently numbers mean more to us than the quality. But we still have to provide quality, right? We can't just not care.
Volume game.
We are playing a volume game, but the quality still has to be there. We still have to provide the quality in our marketing approach to make sure that we can consistently reach that volume. Because I guarantee you, if we drop the quality on our marketing and we drop the what we're going after, then our volume decreases as well. So you have to have both. You have to have both in everything, no matter what it is, what you do. You have to have I think the thing is, it's a what do you call it? It's like the seesaw effect. Yeah. Well, I think it's like, you have the scale and balance of, you can have a business, right, that is more based off of volume than it is off quality. Airlines are a great example. Right? Airlines have very low quality, but very high volume. And so therefore, they're still able to make a huge amount of profit. Bless you. But they still have to provide some quality, or else the volume wouldn't be there. But, in every business, you have to decide.
Bring up as well is to double down on your avatar. So when you close your first deal, figure out why that deal closed, what type of situation that seller was in. Because my first deal was a tired landlord who was absentee, out of state, with bad tenants. And then as I've done a few more deals, I noticed that's a very popular characteristic that has, a reason, a strong motivation to want to sell. So if you can target those people, find those people, it's rinse and repeat.
Yes.
See, once you get skills like Matt Riley, and then and Bob Sadai, and you can structure these creative deals where
rinse and repeat.
For instance, this guy Eric, he's out of state. He has this house. He doesn't want to hold on to it, so the absentee is the consistent factor, the consistent variable. So these absentee owners, they might have some more distress, and maybe somebody who's living there in the property or living in that area, because this is something that they don't have proximity to, physical proximity to. Maybe they have to work with a property manager to take care of the property. So really figure out what is working, what has actually closed, and then try to double down, I think, on that, because that's what's going to get you the scalability, the repeatability, the predictability.
That's the most important thing. What John just described is essentially what I was talking about, is the wave, right? But what I said, like, that's what you also have to remember is that wave will change eventually, right? Like, our best customer today will not be our best customer in a year, most likely, right? And there will always be consistently small but ever-going changes along with your top number one product factor. So that's the whole importance of tracking the wave, as it, so to speak, because money moves like water. And if you want to get wet, you got to place yourselves in the places where the wave is going to crash next. You don't want to be chasing the wave. You want to put yourself into the position by being able to put yourself in a position where you can read the numbers in a way where I can position myself at the end of the barrel of the wave right before it gets there, so that I can make sure that I get wet, right? So like, that's how you want to look at the way the economy moves.
Right. I don't know about you guys, but this website that we're working on is gonna get that it's gonna get that money.
We're gonna get wet. We're gonna get wet with that website.
We're gonna get wet with the website.
I was waiting for someone to say it.
Yeah,
I wrote it out,
dude. I don't know, man. I'm out of pocket. I drank 16 ounces of Cuban coffee last night before I went to sleep last night. Don't listen to anything I have to say today.
See, this
Nobody listens to anything that I have to say today.
Kids, this is your brain on caffeine post 9 p.m. All right. If you ever think it's a good idea, just take a gander.
I thought I knew what I was saying. I really sit back there and reanalyzed my sentence. And I was like, oh well, it's
You're
already out
thinking,
there.
how bad could it be?
It's already out there.
Coffee. Take a look.
It's already out there. It's already done. It's already been. So.
Trying to think out of the box for marketing strategy so I get the leads first. A lot of wholesalers in my area. Yeah, I mean, I think you guys touched on it perfectly. And again, we always say, like, what are you going to do to separate yourself from the pack? I've said that 1,000 times. Again, we're all sitting up here. We kind of get the same general style question sometimes, but we're all kind of chasing the same thing. So it's like, what are you going to do to be different? Yes, it's a numbers game, but it's also a quality game as well. I don't want to just don't give me a random list of 5,000 nothing list. I mean, if you want to say it's a numbers game, sure, I can call 5,000, but who am I calling? What is their motivation? What is anything on this list? And most likely I'm going to waste my time. Will I pick a few deals out of there? Sure. But if that was a more condensed list that was more catered to me as an individual and my strengths, and there was pain and motivation and identifiable measures in that list, it could be a 500 lead list then, and not even a 5,000. And I'll pull more deals out of that 500 than I will out of that 5,000. So I think it's just, again, touching on who are you as the wholesaler investor? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And then cater your outreach and your leads to that, and you'll find greater success. And then try to figure out a way to carve out a little bit of difference between you and everybody else, because you're going to hear it when you're on the phones with these sellers and the agents and everything else. They're going to just say, well, we've heard from 500 of you people today. Like, you guys keep calling me. You guys keep, because they think that you are them. The 500 people that called before, they think that we all work for the same company and that we're all calling that same seller. So it's like, hey man, no, I don't even know who that was. I don't know. I'm not this. Well, you sound the same. You're calling me and you're saying the same exact thing. Hey sir, how are you? What's the condition of your roof? What's that? Like, you're asking to say, we're all reading off the same script even sometimes. And it's just, what are you going to do that's different? If you want to beat your head against the wall for 8 hours a day and it's just a numbers game and call 5,000 people, absolutely. But you will be burned out. Even if you hire a team, they're going to get burned out. So you got to separate yourself somehow, some way.
You just gotta get niched. You know,
gotta get niched. Niches in the ridges, for sure.
Yeah. You don't really want to. Understanding the way to do that is to consistently audit your business. I mean, that's the consistent way to do that, is to consistently go back and look through the data every single, in the beginning, really, I tell people, I'm like, go back and look through it every single week. Because if you're not really trying to identify actively what is making you money, then you're always going to be in this position of like, catch up, chase the check, right? And you're never going to be right in the position of like where I talked about, right at the, you're never going to be ahead of the wave. You're always going to be chasing the barrel of the wave as it kind of crashes down to the shore, and you're going to be behind those people that are at the end of the barrel, like, you know, sitting there towards the end of the wave. So it's like you want to be in that position to where you can read your data well enough to where you can predict the trends associated, to where, you know, like you can put yourself in that position where that wave crashes, and you're like, oh, hey, this month we did this, next month, guess what? We'll hit this number, because we just saw that if we put this amount of money over here in this pocket, it's going to circle back around to us over here, and it's going to make this much. And money making really is that simple. It's really that simple. It really is that simple.
It's like the guy, I wish, is he in here? No. The guy that was talking yesterday about the 100,000 text messages on his iPhone and all of that. And then you had asked him, and you're like, what are your KPIs? Like, what are the results from that? Like, how many leads did you pull from that? How many contracts? Yeah. And it's just like, he's like, I don't really have any data for that. And it's like, you sent out 100,000 messages.
Yeah, he was just like, somebody's going to hit me back.
100,000 data points. Yeah. And 100,000 possibilities to analyze your business and analyze what's working. What list were this 100,000 from? Which of the deals did I get from which list? So maybe next time I send out 100,000, I'm going to focus more on the, you know. So that's exactly what it is. Again, that's why I get so frustrated sometimes, where we all have 24 hours in a day. We all got to sleep. We all got to eat. So you get a very limited time. And if you're going to spend time in this business and you truly want to see success and you truly want to make money doing this, I get frustrated when I see people just like aimlessly reaching out to people, aimlessly doing things, and then complaining. Even if you're not complaining, just the aimlessly doing things.
Man, I think people, when they hear, oh, this is a numbers game, they think, oh, I'm going to just shoot darts at the board and something's going to hit on the bullseye. But in reality, like, you don't just walk your way into a deal without preparing yourself, becoming prepared, becoming the person that can actually facilitate a deal like that, right? That's why people like Matt Riley and Bob Sadai, who call up these sellers and offer creative solutions to these problems, are snagging deals from people that are wholesaling, just shooting out SMS or buying PPC, because they don't know how to structure a deal. Same thing with this land guy that we were talking about yesterday or the day before. I'm positive probably 100 other wholesalers talked to this guy, saw on Zillow that this property is worth $400,000, and gave him an offer for $100,000, $200,000 on 15 acres of land, because they saw the Zestimate and said, okay, well, I can only come in with cash. This is all I know how to do. They don't understand how to help the seller at all. So when somebody comes along that knows how to structure a solution for a seller in his situation and actually knows what to do, how to novate a property, offer something different from what everybody else is doing, that's how you can position yourself to actually get paid on a deal. But if you're not prepared, if you're not ready, if you don't KYS know your shit, you're not going to be able to structure a deal to get somebody paid, to get yourself paid, or get a deal made. And that's as simple as it is. That's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to
turn my volume down there.
This is like when you watch a YouTube video and they're like earphone, headphone warning. Yeah, but no, it's 100% true.
I picked up my phone. I was like,
it's 100% true. And I think it's corny in a sense, but like in a way, you're gonna find the more you can help people, the more success you see. And it's almost like when you figure out ways to truly help people because of your ability to understand the game as much as possible. You're understanding all these different avenues and tools and resources and creativeness and all of these things. And truly, the more people that you're able to help, the more success you will see as well. Because cash offers, do they help people? Sure. in certain situations, right? Like there are definitely people who have been thankful that somebody has given them a cash offer so they can move on with their property, move on with their life. They had bad tenants in there that trashed the place and they don't want to make an insurance, whatever it is. Sure, it's helped some people, but for the most part, a cash offer is helping you as the buyer. You're getting a great deal. You're getting it at a 60% discount, 50% discount, whatever it is. It's for you and not for them. Creative and other things like that is a solution to not only me. It's not a benefit to me, just me. It's a benefit to them as well. The deal that John's doing right now, Eric, divorced, living in New Mexico now. He lives 15 states away. His ex-wife is here. He's made 6-7 months of mortgage payments on a house he doesn't live in that he can't really afford. Was under contract previously with a traditional buyer, and the inspection came back that the roof was bad and some other items. So this poor guy went ahead and replaced the roof out of his own pocket, money he didn't even have. He had to go borrow the money on money he didn't have, replace the roof, and then the deal still fell through and then sat on the market for another 4 months while he's making mortgage payments. So going above and beyond. So somebody comes along and it's like, hey man, I have this creative solution for you, where also too, with all of that being said, if he were to sell on the open market, he's still writing a check to sell his house. So if he were to sell at the current asking price with no seller credits, no nothing, full asking price, which no one's doing when a house is sitting for 6 months on the market, he's still writing at least a $2,000 check at closing on top of everything else he's had to pay. So when someone comes along and truly is a resource to that person and truly brings a solution to their table, it's undeniable that that deal is going to go through. You're the only one. In a world on the market, traditional doesn't want to help you. They don't care about you. A traditional buyer that went to the bank and got their pre-approval, they got their money in the bank, they got their lender and their appraiser and all of these people, they don't care about your situation. They care about themselves. I want to come in and get a price reduction. I want to come in and get seller credits. I want what I want. I don't care what your situation is. Cash buyers aren't going to be able to pay what he needs to be paid because he has a mortgage on it. So they're going to come in low. They don't care about you. They care about me. Again, cash offers are mainly for me, not for you. And that cash offer doesn't solve any of his problems. So when you learn, when you KYS and know as much as you possibly can, you can provide solutions to people, real solutions that are beneficial to both parties. And because of that, your success rate will go through the roof because now you're actually able to provide real help to people. When you can provide help to people, that's when people are lining up for those resources, for that help, and it'll open your door. Cash buyers is for a very small niche. Helping people is a huge niche. Imagine how many people are on the market, just on the market alone, that have little to no equity, that have liens, they have this, they are getting divorced, they're having all of these things, and the traditional market doesn't give a shit about them. They don't care about your problem. They don't care that you're divorced. They don't care about any of that stuff that's going on, and they don't even know about it. They have their buyer's agent, and that buyer's agent job is to get them the best deal possible. And the best deal possible is coming in with price reductions and seller credits and taking money out of their pocket when we're trying to put money in their pocket or at least keep it there. So I think the more that you can help people, the more you can figure that out is a way that you can carve yourself away from the rest of the pack who only know how to do one thing.
I think you also forgot the other side of it too, Matt. We're not only helping, not only are we helping the sellers, not only are we helping ourselves, but we're also helping our buyers as well. You know,
100%.
These buyers are getting excellent deals. Okay, if they're cash buyers, if they're fix and flippers, they're coming in at a much better rate. Okay, much better pricing. Most of them are not going to be fix and flippers. Most of them are going to be landlord buyers. Okay, so they're going to be getting properties that they don't have to invest a bunch of money into one property necessarily. They can go out and actually buy more than one property to be able to become landlords on them. So you're giving them the opportunity to stretch their money and be able to own more real estate through creative, you know? So it's the other side as well that we're providing a benefit and service for as well.
And how many agents have you worked with where this is a dead deal? Your listing agreement is about to expire.
Exactly.
Your seller is 4 months behind mortgage payments. So this listing is not only going to expire, but this person's going to foreclosure. Or, hey, you know in the back of your head that they owe X amount of dollars on this mortgage. And if it sells, they're writing your commission check out of their pocket. So that can't feel good, right? I mean, maybe you don't care, but you have to care. So not only are you helping your buyers, you're helping the seller, you're helping all these, you're also helping agents who are possibly losing this deal. And this was a dead deal with no other options, no resources. The deal that he's working on right now, they've already received, he said he's already turned down 10 other offers because none of them were even remotely close to what he could accept. And his agent, which she's whatever you want to say, but there are good agents out there where they don't know that this world exists. So to them, they want to help that seller so bad, they just don't know how. They're like, I'm out of options. I can't do price reductions on this thing because we have no room. I can't incentivize buyers to come with seller credits because we don't have room to do that. I can't give more money to a buyer's agent to incentivize them to come do showings because we don't have money for that. So it's like, I don't know how to help this seller. I want to, I just don't understand why or how. And so when someone like that comes along and they're like, hey man, I'll take care of all of your problems. I'll take care of the seller's problems. I'll take care of your problem. And we'll get this thing done in 2 weeks or less. I mean, that's a win for all parties involved. I always say it's not a win-win. It's a win-win-win in that situation because now the agent can feel they don't have that guilt about collecting a commission check on that deal. Because if you sold it outright right now, you know that your seller's writing that check to pay your commission, and that can't feel good. So I'm going to create a win-win-win where I'm going to write that check on the seller's behalf. So now you can actually feel good at the closing table when you receive that commission. And then we both feel good because we were able to get this deal done for that seller who's been having a real hard time for the last 6 months. So it's truly a situation where it's a win-win-win and you're helping everybody involved. And it's not just a one-sided transaction that's only helping me and my bottom line in my pockets. So
not that realtors necessarily are whining and crying, going to the bank, cashing their check, because the seller didn't get any money and they lost money and they had to write a check. But we see the point, and going full circle on this whole story, going back to the point that, should we go, what kind of list should we go after? Should they be targeted or not? Guess what? And how there are so many wholesalers out there. This is how you distinguish yourself from these other wholesalers as well, right? Is that now you're providing solutions to these agents, okay, that other wholesalers more than likely do not, okay? And guess what? They don't know. And guess what? Now these agents have a new weapon in their arsenal. Okay. Now they know that, hey, if next time I have another issue like this, I have someone who can help me. So they're going to be contacting you now.
Yeah, I literally just in the beginning of the call, I had to mute my mic and talk, and those are the 2 seller finance deals, and that's exactly. I've done 6 deals with this guy Keith. He's an agent in St. Louis, and so now he knows when something tricky comes up or whatever. He calls me, and I take a look at it, and now I have a built-in pipeline in St. Louis, and those are like my money property, like that's like Section 8, like that stuff that I know, so it's really easy for me to figure out. But yeah, he knows that, I can get it done, and we do good business together. And I left him a nice Google review yesterday, and he was like, thank you so much. So it's like just those little things that just help facilitate better deals. And I was telling John too, like this agent on this deal, I'm mad that it's one of those where I'm like, I wish she wasn't getting paid, but at the same time, it is what it is. But I was saying if we play it right, or if he plays it right, because I can't have anything to do with the deal, but if he plays it right, this could truly be a full circle teaching moment in a sense, where she was initially starting off hanging up on him. She told the seller that my deal was that it was a fake offer, and that I'm a fake LLC or a fake business because she couldn't find me, and all of these different things that she made up. And she's probably hung up and did that to 50 other people as well. And maybe truly she thinks that sub 2 and seller finance is a scam and all of these things. And now full circle moment, we go to closing, she gets paid, the seller gets relieved of his problems, somebody takes over, everything works out exactly how it was supposed to, it gets recorded at title, everything. Now it's a teaching moment where like maybe she'll have that light bulb moment where she's like, maybe this is okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, or maybe these guys are not as bad as I thought, or whatever. And then that either helps us in the future if she ever has a listing, or just helps somebody in the future at some point if this ever happens again, where now she'll be more likely maybe to have that open dialogue at least about a property that she has in the future, or it just has that possibility to open up the floodgates at least a little bit in the future.
So likely what's going to happen is she's still going to have the same belief that, yeah, these are all fake and these are all no good. But this guy, John Johnson and Matt Riley, they did it right. Maybe they'll do it right again next time. We'll see. So at least you have the opportunity of getting the shot with this agent if she learns her lesson. And if she doesn't, it is what
and
it
I
is.
think that's like, I think at the end of the day, that's always the most important thing to me is like, you can say whatever you want about our side of things. You can say what I don't care, at the end of the day. But what you'll never be able to do is say me specifically. You'll never be able to use my name and say that I do bad business or that I screwed you over or that I sent you a fake or none of the things. You'll never be able to specifically say it about me. You can say it about all the other experiences you might have had, and you want to blanket us all together. But if we've ever done a deal together, you'll never be able to say that about me. Now, at the end of the day, that's all I can control is me. And I always try to advise everybody in here, treat it like a business, do good for yourself because you're only helping yourself and everybody else around you that's going to be. But at the end of the day, I can only control me. So, yeah, she probably will. And we'll see. And at the end of the day, you can only control what you can control. So if it works out for her mindset, fantastic. If not, we put some money in her pocket and hopefully we never have to see her again.
And a 5-star review.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be me.
Maybe a 4-star.
Yeah, I'll be typing and deleting. Like, all right, don't be too nice. I'll just leave the stars and no review. I think that's
right there. You go.
Yeah.
KBZI, welcome. What you got going?
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How can we help you?
Yeah, so I had a quick question. If your guys' thoughts and if you guys had any experiences with the attorney process in New York when it comes to assignment of contract.
I personally have not done any deals in New York myself, so I don't know exactly, but why would it be different? How if you have the right
it's an attorney state.
I understand, but if you have the right attorney who understands wholesaling and creative, for example, then there shouldn't be an issue. What is the issue?
So I did a little bit of research into it myself because I did a little bit of research, and from what I learned from that was that the seller would have an attorney already for themselves, and then we would have the buyers would have an attorney, and then they would basically draft up the contract. The seller would draft up the contract, send it to our attorney, and then most likely there wouldn't be an assignability clause in there, and they would usually be asking for 10% EMD. So then we would have to negotiate with the seller and then try to get the clause in place. That's from my research, and I called a couple attorneys this morning, and when I mentioned to them, you guys work with the assignment of contract. Obviously, I can speak with more of them, but they kind of they weren't really familiar when it came to the assignment of contract, and they were saying that it's mostly the seller that would be drafting up the contract. It's not necessarily the buyer.
I don't know about that, but here's what I can tell you. Reach out to Elena at All Tech National Title and ask her who they use in New York, which closing attorney they use in New York, okay? And then contact that attorney and talk to them.
Okay. Yeah. Can you give me the person's detail again? I have a
shoot me a DM, will you? And I'll be able to. I'll talk to my attorney here. So my Alltech is, we're having some growing pains. All right. I'm just gonna let's just get it. We were talking about waves. Let's just get in front of the wave now. Alltech is having some growing pains.
Did I stick my foot in my mouth again?
No. You're good. You had so it just kind of started happening the last 2 or so weeks. I've worked with Elena pretty much exclusively over the last 5 or so years. I've known my attorney for 10 years. When Elena is on it, and it's just so once they became licensed in all 50 states, everything was great, and they have resources in states where they're not licensed, where they kind of have to pass the file off and they kind of oversee it, but they don't really have control over it anymore at that point. But they have resources in all 50 states and and built-in systems there. But I think with the influx of new business from me sending them deals and other people sending them deals, I think there's some growing pains taking place. I have 6 deals right now that are just in limbo in Alabama, Louisiana, a couple other ones. And so I had to reach out to Elena yesterday. I had a couple people here reach out with some complications, and I had someone else too. And so I reached out, and she's like, yeah, the one lady, Dawn, she works in Louisiana, a couple other ones. And so VPN title, I think they are. And she's like, I've heard that from a few people. So she called Dawn right away, and then Dawn immediately sent out an email on an update on all my files. So I think they're not doing it on purpose. I think it's just a growing pain thing right now, and they're trying to add personnel and stuff like that. So do it at your own discretion right now or just go into it understanding that there might be a small delay in the beginning, until that gets figured out.
Okay.
KBZI might work because all he's doing is asking a question of finding the right attorney. He's not necessarily opening title right now.
Yeah, and they'll be able to answer that question right now. It sounds similar to Illinois. Illinois is an attorney-based state too, so sellers always have their own attorneys. We have our own attorneys, but we always submit the contracts to the seller, and then the seller doesn't draft their own contract for the most part. I mean, I guess they would have the ability to, but we would always present contracts to them, and then they approve it, or they sign it, or they don't sign it, or they counter it. But it all stays on that same contract, and then that gets sent to the title company. And then if any addendums or anything like that take place, just like anywhere else, it would happen at the title company. But it sounds similar to here. But I don't know about I don't know New York's assignability. Anything like that.
Yeah, so you're just basing it off of Illinois, which is similar in that it's an attorney
We're
state.
one of the most attorney-based states, similar to New York. Yeah, like you can't do anything here without needing an attorney. Even like property tax appeal, you have to bring in an attorney. Like it's just absolutely insane here. But so it's similar, but we don't really have that here. But we do have regulations on like wholesaling and things too. So again, we're pretty regulated here. So I imagine we're pretty similar to New York. And I've never really ran into an issue with assignability issues. But again, I can't speak on New York. Maybe they do have something specific there that we don't. I would doubt it just because we are very similar and we're pretty regulated here. But yeah.
I've heard a lot about New York and having challenges, but I've also heard so many people still wholesaling there without any issues.
Is this a home run? I just can't. I would never want to work. I just would never want to do anything in New York. I just can't wrap my head around.
Tenant lenient. Yeah. Hey, it's 9:59. I have a 10 o'clock Zoom meeting, so I got to jump off, everyone. Hope you all have a great day. Matt, I might reach out to you.
Yeah. Do you see my text?
I got to go. I did. Thank you. And besides that, I just, as we were talking, got a deal in St. Louis of all places. So
let's go.
Keep talking about St. Louis. Here it is.
We're spreading the juju.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, if you have not already, please consider inviting somebody you think would benefit from being in proximity with us. Please go on Facebook, find people that are actively doing this business, and send them that link, discord.gg/REI Rev.
Tell them if they want to get in front of the wave and get wet, send them to REI Rev.
Come get wet.
Oh boy!
Oh, we could not have that be a thing.
I'm gonna go drink another cup of coffee.
Yeah, go